So pretty much every time I've filmed this review, something has gone wrong. Had problems with my SD cards, with both my audio, microphone, and also my camera. Had some other issues with something else, and yeah, it's been very frustrating. But this is hopefully the final time I'm filming this review.
Let's go!
So I'm going to start this review by reading a statement that the Walt Disney Company Africa made a week or two ago. It was after the first weekend that Black Panther was on the circuits, and the statement goes as follows. The film Black Panther, which has become a cultural phenomenon both at home and across the globe, took in over 16.8 million at the South African box office, with nearly 200,000 attendances for the 3-day opening weekend, 16th to the 18th of February. This debut ranks as the third biggest industry opening weekend ever in South Africa, and the second biggest industry opening weekend ever excluding previews. As well as the biggest opening for a Marvel Studios film ever in South Africa. In addition, Black Panther scored the highest Saturday box office of all time in South Africa, with takings of over 6.9 million on the 17th of February. Elsewhere in the continent, Black Panther has become the biggest industry opening weekend of all time in both East and West Africa, with the film continuing trending on social media in the run-up to the release. There's a bit more to that statement, but that is crazy. Those numbers are huge for South Africa and Africa as a whole. Ryan Coogler, who directed Fruitvale Station and also Creed, directed Black Panther, and he once again does an amazing job. I have not yet seen Fruitvale Station, but I have seen Creed, and that was an incredible movie. This movie is a story of T'Challa, who after the death of his father, which we witnessed in Civil War, has to become king of Wakanda and sort of take on the burden of being a king. I don't ever recall there being a more awesome depiction of Africa and African culture on screen. I seriously cannot. The cast, for the most part as well, was excellent, and there were a few moments where some of their accents weren't sticking or they were sounding a bit off, but I think they did an incredible job. The chemistry between those characters was incredible. You really felt like they had known each other for years and years and years, and the relationships that they developed felt real and natural, which can sometimes be rare when you're trying to show like a long history of a relationship or friendship on screen. So they did an absolutely amazing job. They really brought some A-class talent to this film, and Andy Serkis returns as Claw as well in this film. He was previously in Age of Ultron, and again he is phenomenal in this film. And in my opinion, I think he does the best Afrikaans accents I've ever heard in a film before. Obviously, besides people who are actually Afrikaans or from South Africa, they obviously excluded from that, but I think he really does an incredible Afrikaans accent. I really felt like this guy was from like Johannesburg, and yeah, it was nice having him back from Age of Ultron, because I really enjoyed his character in Age of Ultron, but we didn't really get to see him much, so it's cool to see him return in this, and he was a cool villain. I really did enjoy him. But the real villain in the film was Michael B. Jordan, and he is Killmonger, and damn, amazing. This is the first time in a long time I've actually sympathized with the villain. He brought such a human quality to this character, and I don't really want to say too much about it without giving stuff away, but he was really good in this film, and one of the highlights in the movie, and I would say probably one of the most iconic Marvel villains that they've had to date. And I really hope Marvel look at Michael B. Jordan's performance as Killmonger and sort of try to adapt that into their later films and try to flesh out their villains like they had with Killmonger, because I really thought he was one of the best MCU villains we've had to date. His performance was incredible. Michael B. Jordan is insane. He's really good in this role. Ryan Coogler also brought his composer from previous films into this film, as well as his cinematographer. I love like the sort of drums or whatever they use in this film, like the it's awesome. It just all intertwines and makes a really unique soundtrack and cool sound for the film. Rachel Morrison is a cinematographer of this film. She's also actually got an Oscar nomination for Best Cinematographer. I think it was for Mudbound, which was on Netflix. So that's cool. We got an Oscar nominated cinematographer doing a Marvel film. And yeah, the cinematography is great. I especially noticed it a lot more in the 2D screening, which I went to last night, and it is very good. And there's some very cool symbolic shots. I noticed some camera angles and camera setups that were sort of symbolizing what was happening with regards to certain characters, or they were alluding to stuff that was going to happen with those characters, which is very interesting. And I love it when a cinematographer doesn't just set their camera up and film, but they actually take in the content and they tell a story with the camera without just leaving it set up somewhere on a tripod, like this video. Now it's all good. So Rachel Morrison did a really good job. I hope she actually returns if they do a sequel for Black Panther. I really liked what she brought to the film with regards to the cinematography. There's a lot of stuff that I was surprised they included in this film, and I was surprised that they actually left it in this film and didn't cut it out, especially knowing that it's a Disney property, Marvel, and I'm surprised that Marvel actually let them keep it in. However, I'm very glad they did keep it in, and good job Ryan Coogler for including it. And in closing, some of the CGI is not good. It's really not good. And it's frustrating, but whatever. I just wish that, I don't know, they just got huge budgets for these films, and I just wish sometimes that they wouldn't take the easy way out and CGI everything. It's not terrible, but there are some moments where I'm just like, oh, that's not great CGI. And there's some parts that I felt just dragged on a little bit too long, or were cut a bit short. I wish we kind of got a bit more of Act 2 in the film. I feel like Act 1 was a bit long, and then Act 2 and 3 were quite short. That was just my personal thought. But ultimately, this is a very good movie, and I'm busy rewatching all the Marvel films now, but I think this one might be in my top 5. I don't really know, but I think. I might have to watch the other ones a few more times, and this one. But it's very, very good. This film has some amazing commentary in it, and it touches on themes that you probably weren't expecting. But it's very, very well executed. It doesn't shove these themes and this commentary in your face. It weaves into the story so well. And just before we go, this film has some incredible female characters in it. And with the release of the film, some of these actresses came down to South Africa, and thanks to Walt Disney Company Africa, I got some of the footage and interviews from the cast who were in Joburg. So it was very cool and very exciting to see some of these interviews and some of this footage. I'm going to put a little bit of it at the end here. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you thought about it. Also, I found it so awesome that international stars are coming to South Africa for flipping film releases. It's epic. I'm super pumped and I'm super stoked. Thank you so much, Disney. You guys are epic and you guys are legends.
I mean, it's everything to me, and it was very important to us. We got to be investors and collaborators in this depiction because it's deeply important to me how African women are portrayed, how I write, in what characters I take up. That is at the forefront, is really breaking into new portrayals, because there are so many fascinating African women, powerful, interesting, multidimensional, complex African women who never get seen. So it's everything to me to make sure that that's what we're accomplishing when I step in front of a camera. And so that is, I'm so excited that got accomplished.
It feels really good to be here. This is inspired by the African continent, and it belongs here. So it's wonderful to be able to bring it home, and for the people on the continent to get a chance to celebrate with us what we've made, because it is a monumental moment.
I'm thankful that we get to be the cast that's a part of this moment. And I think the world is also looking right now deeply. We're in a post-Obama era. We're in an era where we know leadership doesn't always look, of the world, of the most powerful parts of the world, doesn't always look one way. So why can't we see that more in how we portray things on the big screen? And we don't see it as much. So I think there's a moment, people are yearning for this. There's definitely a crisis of leadership going on in lots of parts of the world, and I think there's something powerful about Wakanda, and now is the time for us to get a little bit of Wakanda.
Well, I think it's a movie that is really about Pan-Africanism. It's a movie about embracing your culture no matter where you're from. It's not just it's definitely for Africans and people of African descent, but it's also for people everywhere to remember who they are and embrace what makes them different and reach out to other people for the reasons that make us the same. So.
If you guys have seen Black Panther, please let me know what you thought about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, if you want to keep up to date with all the videos and stuff I'm doing, follow me on social media, subscribe to my videos here, press the little bell icon if you want to be reminded every time I upload a video. It doesn't rush you any other time, I promise. Only when I make a video, it will just send you a notification. That's all it does. But seriously go see it. It's a very, very good movie. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go. Bye. It's not getting to the point now where you've watched the review, you've heard what I had to say about the review, you may have commented, you may have subscribed even, you may have even followed me on social media, but it's now just getting a bit bland. So I think I'm gonna go, like now. Yeah, I guess if you're keen to see me again, then press that bell icon, which I spoke about earlier. Yeah, it's getting awkward. I'm getting a bit awkward. I think I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching once again. I shall see you next time. Why am I so weird?